Hello. So I got on a new outfit today. Well, not new, but just newly coordinated. And this top, this sweater, and this really neat skirt that has like all this embroidery on it. So it's always fun to dress. And plus, I've had a very long day with, um, I'm dealing with these very, very toxic people. And I'm not going to get into it at this time because it's still ongoing, but God willing, it is gonna conclude itself soon. I had actually spoken with someone who really understood the dynamics of toxic personalities, and we had a good laugh, which was great. Like, she was very present, which we all need, and very willing to listen, because often people are very, for various reasons, not available to be present. So it was good. It was good to laugh. You know, I'm going to have a lot more laughs about this circus at a later date. So anyways, not to make the video about that at this time because I'm not really comfortable with going into details. But I wanted to show you this probiotic is actually excellent. This is a yeast-based probiotic, Boulardi. The first word is way too long for me to read, but for the longest time I was nervous to use it because I thought, well, yeast would activate all kinds of negative things in my body. But they say it's really good for digestion, constipation, SIBO, and you know what? It really helps. And I was seeing I was doing so well with my digestion without taking any herbs or any laxatives, which aren't ideal. So I said, like, I have this Trader Joe's dinner, I want to try it, and I got kind of nervous today thinking I wouldn't digest it, but I had perfect digestion. I was so happy. And I've also started taking this fiber. It is Garden of Life fiber. It doesn't have psyllium. I find psyllium is really, really heavy on me. And interestingly enough, before I was taking the Boulardi probiotic on a regular basis, the fiber just felt more heavy than anything. But now it's like the fiber and the Boulardi and everything is passing through. And my moods are so much better because your gut is really where all the serotonin is made and dopamine. So when we have a full bowel movement and things we eat and things go out, it is really, really effective on a good mood because, as I know, not having good digestion is the most frustrating feeling. You just feel irritated, and that's so normal that you would. So that's a really positive thing because I've been trying so diligently to like get back to my ideal health that I had a couple years ago where I could eat really what I wanted within reason. I mean, I'm very sensitive to certain preservatives and sulfites. I don't drink alcohol. It affects me negatively, and plus it's like an aging ingredient. So a couple of years ago I was doing great, and then my digestion slowed down and was like up and down and erratic and affected, and it affects your weight and everything else. So I'm very, very grateful for the Boulardi. And even though I've been having like really challenging days with these people that are all over the place and creating chaos, I'm still in a better mood, you know? Um, I'm still in a good mood, but believe me, I am so looking forward to this circus ending. It is, I won't go into it. So let's talk a little bit about dating and marriage because when I spoke to this lady, we had such a good talk. Her eyes lit up when I started saying, you know, how I waited until marriage to be with my husband and how my life completely did turn around when I dressed modestly in skirts, like I have learned through Orthodox Judaism to do so. And actually was saying to her, my life like completely turned around. Nobody was bothering me. And then I got these individuals. Like, it has been a long road. So God willing, it goes back to normal where It's like, okay, little incidents at the store, maybe the shopkeeper's not so helpful or friendly, or a repairman's not so thorough or honest, that I can handle. But ongoing interactions with people who just, I want it to end, and I want to enjoy my life and my marriage, and I want to be in a good mood and celebrate life. And an interesting thing is when you're like acquainted with happiness and it's not such a foreign thing to you, you naturally want to go back to it. When you're in a state that you can't remember how it is to be happy for so long, you can get used to being in an unhappy state for a long time and thinking that that's what life is. So it's really important to do things that make you happy and to honor yourself. And Irene Lyon is excellent for this. She's on YouTube and she talks about body regulation. So when your stomach is upset, when I get upset, I get I'm uncomfortable. I get like a nauseous stomach. So she teaches you, check in with yourself. If you're feeling physically unwell, check in. Why is that? And understand your triggers. Our triggers come from our upbringings, our childhoods. Anxiety is really correlated with trauma in childhood, and we all have work to do. And some people want to do the work. I do want to do the work in my life. And other people want to numb it, and they will be drawn to addictive behaviors and drinking and unsuitable partners. That's also a sedative, is to date, to match up with somebody and to take in their drama. Because if you're taking in their drama, you're not reflecting upon your work. I was in a situation like that, and the person had more drama that I've probably ever witnessed. Every toxic person really does come with a lot of drama. Drama, not trauma, but probably trauma too, right? And then it distracts us from our work. If we're uncomfortable with ourselves, uncomfortable with our work, we find distractions, be it having, intercourse with someone unsuitable, being in unfulfilling relationships, drinking, drugging, medication, numbing. We could numb with YouTube or television or our phones. That's something people, numb with. And a lot of times they'll be at a date, I guess, to that extreme and be on their phone. Thank God, neither my husband or I have that issue. In fact, my husband doesn't even have Facebook, which I love. I find Facebook can be, sure, we can use it to the positive, but a lot of time we are using it to the negative, and we're becoming so absorbed. Like, say you live in a small community, then people are posting about the neighbors and the things that are not their business, and they're becoming so consumed with other people's lives and gossiping, and it is a form of like high toxic levels. And then in smaller groups you get the group think, and I never fit into groups. Like, I'm very artistic and very creative, and I consider myself an intellect. I don't know, maybe others wouldn't, but I like to think a lot. And I've never fit into a group because I'm different. And so the group is more, they do their thing. But growing up, I was always very unique, even in my sibling group, did my own thing. I was used to not really totally being understood, which is also lonely. But if I look at myself, I really love who I am. I wouldn't change it for anything. But what I do is I don't put myself in situations where I don't feel good, or at least I try not to. With this situation I'm trying to end, it was like these two people prompted me to end it, which is really a gift, but it was also an arrangement, a business arrangement, where I was part of a small group setting. And in the back of my mind, I knew that people would gossip and talk, and I didn't fit in, and I was different, and it really did bother me. And a lot of times when things bother me, people will say like, oh, don't worry, don't worry what someone else thinks. But I heard this sentence, which was amazing and deep and profound, and it said, trauma comes from disconnect. So when we're born and we're a baby and we want to connect with our mother, our siblings, our father, that if we're not able to is trauma. Then in relationships, say we have an intimate partner and we want to connect and become closer and have a long-term relationship and they break up, that's like a trauma. That's another disconnect. So the more disconnects we go through, the more trauma, the more traumatic is. So the way to heal is to have connection. um, Now find the people you connect with me it's creative people, it's thinkers, it's introverts, it's people who are a little maybe shy, and it's easy to sort of discount ourselves and, oh, I'm different or whatever, but we're really special. I'm a special person, and it took me a long time to come to that realization and to love myself and to accept myself and to celebrate myself. And I can't stress enough how my life has changed and how important it is for me to dress like a lady, to dress modestly. And this outfit I find so pretty. Like, I often wear these sweaters with this little crochet. I have one that is cream, one that is gray, and I haven't worn this little top for such a long time. And now that, like, I feel good from the Boulardi, my digestion is better. Like, I feel comfortable in this. And this skirt I got from a secondhand store. It's the loft, and it's all embroidered, and it goes like past my knee. And also, when you dress modestly as a woman, I know I've repeated this before, but you don't attract jealousy from other women because you're not objectifying yourself. And really, if we're as women objectifying ourselves, we're really giving what society wants, or what, like, kind of the man that you don't even want to be with wants. Like, if you think about it, why put your body on a plate and just hand it out to anyone? They don't deserve that. Only your husband deserves that, to see you, like, naked. And I listened to this Orthodox couple talk about their marriage, and it was so beautiful. It really brought tears to my eyes. And they say how they experience such deep intimacy, and I will say the same. Because when you're married, you can, as a woman, like, totally, or maybe as a man too, but totally let yourself go. The other person's not gonna just, like, get up and leave. You can be vulnerable. And also, part of Orthodox religion is we don't hold our partner's hand in public. And at first my husband was like, huh, that's kind of weird and stuff. But I explained it to him. I was like, what you're doing is you're bringing attention on your relationship from other people. And your relationship is so precious. Like, you don't want people to fantasize, like, what you two do alone, or kind of draw attention to, like, the husband or the wife, and bring what is so private out into the world. And it would seem like, oh, well, it's just holding hands, but it's really a display of a deep intimacy. And I don't, and we don't. And when we go out, we don't touch each other, because that's something that we protect and we just share with ourselves. Also, part of Judaism, Orthodox Judaism, is nida, in which a woman takes a break from touching and intercourse 2 weeks, for 2 weeks each month. So during her cycle and a week after. And it also heightens the intimacy, so that when you, like, save it for intervals, it's much more heightened. Like, the first time my husband just even put his hand on my arm, it was so heightened, because it was like the first time, and it makes it special. And then it is constantly renewing, so that you're not, like, numb to each other, and that it's like new. You have a spark. And life is beautiful. Right now I'm going through a challenge. You know, I have these people and they really want to come at me, and it's very, very intense. They're very toxic. They don't self reflect. I'm going to end it here just in case it's too long.